The honour for Calgary-Fish Creek.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have heard that consumer protection is of utmost importance to this government, yet the experience of timeshare unit holders of Alberta-based Northmont Resort Properties does not reflect that. In fact, the Minister and other members or representatives of this government have stated that the concerns of thousands of Albertans were, and I quote, outside the mandate and jurisdiction of Service Alberta's Consumer Investigation Unit. Minister, I'm not here to make, in your words, cheap political points. I'm here to look out for the best interests of Alberta consumers. When will you stand up for Albertans and do the same?
The Honourable Minister of Service Alberta.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Speaker. I'm always disheartened to hear of this kind of hardship. That's why our government has taken intensive action to strengthen our consumer protection laws. This particular matter occurred outside of Alberta and unfortunately isn't within our scope, but within British Columbia's.
For its supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, given that from my personal discussions with many aggrieved Alberta consumers and my own common-sense review of the evidence and issues received, it is clear that there is both mandate and jurisdiction worthy of investigation by Service Alberta under consumer protection legislation. And given the amount of correspondence and advocacy across the province to your department and to members on both sides of this House calling for an objective investigation, Minister, will you commit to Albertans today in this House to order an objective, independent investigation into claims of breach of the Consumer Protection Act?
Hear, hear. The Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For too long, Alberta's consumer protection laws lagged behind the rest of the country, and that's why we've updated them. We take this issue very seriously, the issue of consumer protection, and in fact, this issue the member is bringing up was investigated in 2012 and closed under the previous government, of which the member of Calgary-Fish Creek was in that government. So, frankly, Mr. Speaker, it's a bit ironic coming from him.
Honourable member.
Not seriously enough, Mr. Speaker, and I stand up for my constituents irrespective of what happened in the past. Given that I'm hearing from Albertans from all walks of life on this issue, many of them seniors on fixed incomes hoping to enjoy their prepaid timeshares in retirement, and given the frustration of Alberta consumers, many of whom have settled, allegedly under duress, in feeling dismissed and ignored by this government, Minister, will you also commit today to a meeting with key representatives of the last few hundred holdouts who refuse to believe that your government will continue to shirk responsibility for their own legislation?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm always happy to meet with Albertans concerning consumer protection issues. This issue has been decided by the court, so I cannot specifically comment on it. However, that member and his party do not take consumer protection very seriously. They never have. My office has received no correspondence from him at any time on this issue. He is selling a bill of goods saying he cares about this. As the Minister of Consumer Protection, I'll advise Albertans not to buy it. It's a scam.